Hey, thanks for joining me with another Delve Deeper. We're taking a look at teaching number 8 in our book of Revelation. Having previously considered the problem of eating food sacrificed to idols, let's consider human sexuality. Now, throughout Paul's letters, readers are admonished to avoid sexual immorality. We read, "Let us behave decently, not in sexual immorality," Romans 13:13. "The body is not meant for sexual immorality," 1 Corinthians 6:13. "Flee from sexual immorality," 1 Corinthians 6:18. "We should not commit sexual immorality," 1 Corinthians 10:8. There's not to even be a hint of sexual immorality, Ephesians 5:3. The acts of the sinful nature are obvious, and included in that list, sexual immorality, Ephesians 5:19. Put to death sexual immorality, Colossians 3:5. It's God's will that you avoid sexual immorality, 1 Timothy 4:3. Now, between roughly AD 50 and 60, Paul wrote, and based on the norms, the moral and social norms of Judaism and the times in which Paul wrote, we can surmise that Paul would have considered the following behaviors to be sexually immoral. Number one, sexual intercourse between a married person and someone who is not their spouse. That would be considered adultery. Number two, sexual intercourse between two unmarried people was considered fornication and was also considered to be immoral. Engaging in sexual activity where there's a payment involved was considered prostitution, and that was seen as a form of exploitation and degradation. Number four, the activity between two people of the same sex, sexual activity between two people of the same sex would be considered homosexuality, and that would be considered immoral. Number five, sexual relations between humans and animals, that would be considered bestiality and was seen as a perversion of nature and a grave offense against God. Number six, we have sexual activity between close relatives. That would be considered incest and was seen as a violation of normal and familial norms. Number seven, we have sexual activity associated with pagan religious practices. This would be considered ritual prostitution, and that's a form of idolatry, and that also would be immoral. Number eight, sexual activity with children was considered to be a form of abuse and seen as a violation of their innocence and purity. So traditionally, the church has interpreted sexual immorality to be any sexual activity outside the bonds of a heterosexual relationship. And that's what history demands that we use as our definition as we explore the scriptures.